Good morning. Today's PowerPoint presentation is about the Imperial Church, the victory of Christianity. Here are some of the important persons, places, and events that took place during this era. Our first and major player is Constantine. He won the Battle of Milvian, decreed the Edict of Milan, ruled the Roman Empire as sole emperor for much of his reign. He instituted the Council of Nicaea. Constantine would leave his mark for the Christian world for 1,000 years, and even this mark is evident in our time today. In 312 AD, Constantine won the Battle of Milvian, which is said to be the turning point for where Christianity will start to have its victory. Let's see what took place at this battle that Constantine will attribute his victory to the God of the Christians.
In early spring 312, Constantine finally crossed the Alps and won two major battles in northern Italy at Turin and Verona. At the second of these battles, Maxentius's most senior commander was killed. He then marched down the Via Flaminia, arriving near Rome in autumn. Constantine and his army arrived in the area of the Milvian Bridge on the 27th of October, where his army set up camp and began to prepare for battle. At this point, a famous event occurred which has been repeated throughout the ages as a key moment in the history of Christianity. The sources differ, but it is clear that at some point in the evening before the battle, Constantine had a vision. Eusebius claims that he was told by Constantine that, while marching, he looked up at the sun and saw a cross of light in the sky above it, along with the words, "In this sign you shall conquer." He ordered his men to mark their shields with the first two letters of Christ's name, Chi Rho. As Maxentius was a devout follower of Rome's pagan faith, the conflict at the Milvian Bridge has since been seen as a battle between Christianity and paganism.
This is now the famous Bridge of Milvian, where that battle took place that have started the victory of Christianity. Constantine wanted to unite his divided nation by using Christianity. That's why in 313 AD, as a political agreement between the two emperors, Constantine and Licinius, the Edict of Milan was instituted. The Edict of Milan is a proclamation that establishes religious toleration for Christianity within the Roman Empire. It granted freedom of worship to whatever deity they please, including the Christian God. It assured Christians of legal rights, including organized churches. It directed the prompt return of Christians' confiscated property. It gave churches tax exemption, and they are able to own property. I know from a personal experience that this is still the common practice in the USA and in the Philippines. Bishops and clergymen were given exemption for tax, military service, and labor from public works. Bishops were granted free access to the imperial ministry. The structures were set aside for worship. Since Constantine declared himself to be a Christian, imperial protocols started to influence Christian worship. This is in essence the beginning of the Imperial Church. The favor of the Emperor Constantine was like a tornado that hit Christians. Some of them fell from grace. The new privilege and power granted to the church leaders led to arrogance and even to corruption. As bishop came to have judicial powers, bribes were offered and they were accepted. And conversion experiences became less dramatic. It is important to note that while Emperor Constantine favored Christianity, he did not put a stop to the pagan practices and worship. And his decision resulted to the following: There was an ample evidence of increasing syncretism and superstition. Some would use ancient magical practices when they get ill. Gladiator combats persisted, and now some Christians are attending it. The first day of the week was decreed for worship. Apparently, it is for both Christ and the unconquered Son. Wow, that was a handful. Let's have a commercial break, shall we? So as you can see, this is me. To the left is the Colosseum, and in the middle is old Rome, and on the right is the new Rome. Since Emperor Constantine wanted to unite his divided kingdom by using Christianity, he organized the Council of Nicaea in order to unite the divided Christian church. The division of the church was being caused by Arianism. It is the belief that denies the divinity of Christ. So here comes Athanasius. He is the chief defender of the Holy Trinity, and with him is the Believer's Creed that is later adapted as the Nicene Creed in this great council. Here is the Nicene Creed. All of the bishops that were present in the council voted against Arianism and put an anathema on the original Nicene Creed, saying that anyone who do not believe the deity of Jesus Christ is condemned by the Catholic and the Apostolic Church. Here are some of the imperial protocols that influences Christianity, and this gave me a haha moment. Incense, which were used as a sign of respect for the emperor, began appearing in Christian churches. Officiating ministers began dressing in a more luxurious garment, and soon they were called priests in imitation of their pagan counterparts. The communion table became an altar. The congregation started kneeling just like when they do when petitioning the emperor. Choirs were developed, and eventually the congregation came to have a less active role in worship. Churches called basilicas were built to match the grandeur of the Roman palaces. This basilica is built by Constantine at his capital city, Constantinople. And today, this place is called Istanbul, located in Turkey, and it's turned into a mosque. Here you can see mosaic patterns that are common in most basilicas. To the top right is Emperor Constantine looking over Constantinople. Here we can see marble walls. Everything just fit for emperor worship. I will be amiss if I do not include these famous churches that was built by Constantine. To the right is the famous Nativity Church in Bethlehem that was built by Empress Helena, who is the mother of Emperor Constantine. St. Peter's Basilica, or better known as the Vatican, was also built by Emperor Constantine. The following are the Christians' reaction to the Imperial Church. Development of an official theology. Many Christians sought to show that Constantine was chosen by God to bring about the church and the empire together, where both are joined. The fact that the emperor now declared themselves Christians. People were flocking to the church and was not a blessing but rather a significant loss. Some withdrew to the desert like Egypt and Syria, there to lead a life of meditation and asceticism. Many break communion with the church. Most Christians, however, reacted to the new situation with neither total acceptance nor total rejection. While affirming their loyalty to the emperor, the Christians insisted that their ultimate loyalty belongs to God. During his reign, Emperor Constantine did not stop supporting the pagan devotees. He retained the title chief priest of their system and became one of their deities. He only got baptized as a Christian on his deathbed on 337 AD. history would tell us that even though Emperor Constantine favored Christians, he also introduced many elements of corruptions in it by mixing pagan and Christian practices. Hence, it gave birth to the rise of the Roman Catholic Church. Now, here is the good part. My questions to you, my dear classmate. Number 1, do you think Constantine is a saint or a sinner? And number 2, can we really say that this era was a victory for the Christian Church? Alright, maraming salamat for watching and listening to my presentation. May God bless all. Bye!